We're no strangers to love. You know the rules, and so do I. Thinking of you wouldn't get this from any other guy. No, tell you how I'm feeling. Understand. Never gonna give you up. Never gonna let you down. Never gonna run around and desert you. Never gonna make you cry. Never gonna say goodbye. Never gonna tell a lie and hurt you. Hello there, welcome to another episode of Flash Fiction, and congratulations on getting rickrolled in this year of our Lord 2020. Surprise, motherfuckers! And then we get hit by a DMCA takedown. Hey there, how's it going? We had snow today. The neighbor's dogs got out and terrorized our cats. Mastiff, Great Dane breed. Jesus, they're gonna be big dogs. Right, the dogs were Mastiff Great Danes?
Yeah.
They're gonna be fucking... Could ride them into battle. Onward, mighty steeds! So. And the dogs weren't like... You could tell that they were like... Just wanted to play with their smaller furry cousins. And the cats were not having it. And then the owner, she came over and apologized and had to pick up and carry her mastiffs away. It's a lazy day. Lazy days are nice. I guess this is technically a lazy day. This is probably going to be my rest day. I've been working out this week, and hey, here's hoping that it pays dividends. Been trying to find, every time I work out, without fail, I end up going too hard and injuring myself and not being able to work out. And then, I get demotivated. So, like, trying to find that balance of, like, low impact exercises that are effective. So I feel like I'm actually, like, it's not that I feel like, but that I'm actually, you need to be careful. Like, I never feel like I'm doing anything that's that, like, aggressive, I didn't think running a mile in 10 minutes and 40 seconds was going to put me in a knee brace for 6 months. Sitting there with, I will be a mom. Again. To you, not literally. I'm sure you guys would be lovely parents. I don't know how anyone can say that with a straight face to anyone that they were friends with around the age of 20. Like, anywhere between, like, 18 and 22. Like, nobody I knew during that era am I like, oh yeah, no, that person's definitely qualified to be a parent. We were, like, I'm amazed any of us made it, to survive to this point. Just like, oh god, they are now in charge of a little being's welfare and psychological development. Fuck. So. Understand. So, Scarlet Fury. Since I have just Rick Astley stuck on my head and I need to get something else. Have you ever heard of felt emo might delete later? This is a very important question. Also, you're the only person. Sure, today you have your phone on silent. Felt emo, might delete later. It's a YouTube. Are you taking a nap?
Yeah.
Okay. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the camera and we're gonna face it toward Cassie while she's asleep.
I don't know if you can see me.
No. Had to wait for it to catch up. Yeah, no. Felt emo might delete later as a guy. I guess the general conceit of the videos are like, you know, he's just a normal dude, probably a bit older than me, which makes him like, you know, 15 years older than you. And, you know, the one I was just watching is he's with his girlfriend, and she's like, "You just seem distant. Are you okay?" And he like looks at her, he goes, "You know what?" And he turns, he's like, "I'm not okay." And he's got eyeliner on, and she's like, no, don't do this. And he like zips up his black hoodie, he's got black fingernails, and then like it pans up, and it's a wig, I think, I'm assuming. I'm hoping. Unless he can actually just spontaneously generate an emo over, but he's got like the emo hair, and My Chemical Romance's I'm Not Okay starts playing, and he's just driving and like singing along, and she's just like, "What is wrong with you?" That's just kind of every video, but you know, something else that triggers the transformation. Well, he started an emo band, and it's amazing. Fucking slaps. I love it. It's called Your Broken Hero. And you should check it out. Let's see, I'll send you a link. Your Broken Hero. With their first single, A Letter to Ashley. Alright, well, I guess it's just the two of us. Just the two of us. Shit, I don't know any of the other words. It's the two of us. I can be your hero, baby. Just hear Ethan Nestor. And I miss Unis Honest. It's fine. Memento Mori. Alright. So, let's just hop into our prompts. Go from there. So, from plain terms, we had, how about a holiday-themed one where Christmas tree gets possessed by John Malkovich? Have you heard these prompts?
I don't think so.
Christmas tree possessed by John Malkovich. From Shakespeare's, we have an electronic music DJ, while on a year-long tour, wakes up in their van to find an infant in the passenger seat. The DJ seems to remember a dream they once had of this child. June Harper said, "Well, this is bad," David thought as he catapulted through the air toward the ground. His ripcord failed, and the backup. Oh, bother. And the darkness loomed behind her, growing ever closer, hungry, thrumming. Its black mouth agape, row of rigid, wet teeth with saliva greeted her. She crawled faster, through the tunnels, through the vents, through her home, running from the thing behind her. And a writer with Power Rangers ringtone is constantly interrupted while trying to write. You guys treat me so well. And Bizarre Reptar gave a couple. It was New York City, planet Earth, year 2229. Humans and AI functioning androids known as synthetics live in an uneasy peace. A human private detective is hired to solve murder of a synthetic humanoid and a synthetic child. How about Men in Black, but it's Magic Knights versus the Undead? That's Swooby. I'm just imagining something like, maybe it's just because I've been playing a lot of it, but like something like The Witcher, down, but on the fucking DL, right? No, there aren't monsters. What are you talking about? Monsters aren't real. And then he does the hand symbol. I don't remember the name. I don't remember the names of the spells. They were too weird. It's just the Expelliarmus or something. I'm hoping that second person to pop in is just Lil Druid, because I specifically said that just to annoy her. A boy goes from door to door trick-or-treating on Christmas Day. In preparation for a duel, an Old West gunslinger has consumed a concoction from an old Hohokam medicine man, and he is totally tripping balls. I want to try this one because I was given permission. Shakespearex also wrote a story based on this prompt. I have not read it because I didn't want to be influenced by it. But he gave me permission to read his on the stream. And I look forward to. I want to read the exchange he and I also had because it made me laugh. Ooh. Been listening to because I was listening to Your Broken Hero, I ended up listening to a bunch of old emo bands. I was just like, so I just have 30 Seconds to Mars circa what year was that album? The Kill?
It's like 2009.
2009.
It's something like that. I was listening to it when I was in high school, so.
I didn't even notice I'm actually down to the end of my story structures, so let's add a couple of new ones. Scarlet Fury, what music were you listening to in high school? I don't even remember, because I don't think you ever had access. You didn't really have control of the radio back then. But did you listen to emo music? Also, a thing I was telling Cassie earlier is just the fact that at this point, anything from that era kind of feels emo. Even if it wasn't, it's like Hollywood Undead, that's kind of emo. Fucking Disturbed, so emo. Avenged Sevenfold, definitely emo. Someone's gonna come and hurt me for saying those things. Got him! Oh yeah, you were the Blue October. You and Frost. I feel like I can't say people's names online for some reason. I'm like, oh no, I'm gonna out them if I use their incredibly generic first name. People will know. Have you listened to their new stuff? I really like Come Back Home and oh fuck, what was it? No, the name's just not coming to me. Is it Robot One? Blue October. I hope you're happy. Yeah. There will be days when you're falling down. There will be days when you're inside out. There will be days when you fall apart. No one else will break your heart. Never gonna hold you back. So try to remember that. I hope you're happy. Oh good, I'm getting a phone call from my father. You want to answer?
No.
Oh, okay. Oh well. Apparently my stepmother bought a car. He felt the need to call and confirm, but I thought he already did that. But I guess, oh, she was still there. She got home. Anyways. Oh, there goes. Oh, I guess that's Chunky Boy. Huh. I don't see Chunky Boy head off across the street very often. having trouble. So I'm kind of trapped in this thing. Let's see. Oh wait. Oh, I missed the chat. Those are great. Stay With Me is one of my favorites from the new album. I didn't know you listened to Blue October. I didn't for a real long time. To be completely honest, Taylor sent me. I think it was called Razor Blade or something. It was a live performance, and to this, I literally went down and tracked down the URL because I listened to some of their new. Cassie was listening to some of their new songs. I was like, oh, I really like this. She goes, yeah, it's Blue October. I was like, what? So I went and looked up the link she sent, and I was like, this is a terrible live performance she sent. For 10 years, I was like, this band sucks. And then I heard some of their new stuff. I was like, oh, shit. So. It was her fault. Oh, there's Big Black. Oh, the thing I was going to say is the prompt says Hohokam Medicine Man, so I'm actually trying to find, like, a name for, like, what were Hohokam names. Because I want to, like, it's one of those, like, I'm doing this live, so I don't want to. I mean, a big thing is that I don't want to be offensive. Oh, the cats are fighting. I'm sure that was an attractive view. I'm sorry. Okay. So. Okay. So, I've lost count of the number of times I've seen them perform. I lost count around 15. Jesus Christ. Cheap concert tickets? The most I've seen is Alice Cooper. I saw it twice. Saw it once in 2010, and I saw in 2018. Okay. So I went through. I found some names, and I found some. I broke it down. I did just the barest minimum. But I've got my little plot outline. I'm also going to give you one sec. So, I've gone every year since 2008, seen them perform acoustically a few times in between as well. Bet you didn't see them this year. I mean, maybe, I don't know. But no, it snowed today, and so I'm going to turn on my little space heater. I hope the noise isn't too bothersome, but it's chilly. So. Also sounds like a good time. Last concert I went to was the Alice Cooper one in 2018, and then saw Ed Sheeran in 2017, and then nothing until like back before I left Nevada, because a lot of concerts came through Clark County. Big bands, small bands. That's probably the thing I miss most. So. How many times the name? Huh. When she wakes up, I'll have to tell her that. frequents a Cinedome in Henderson. Okay. Man, that takes me back. I don't think I've seen a movie there since Big Hero 6. I was back in Vegas and nobody would hang out, so I was like, fuck it. And I hopped on the bus and I drove to the movie theater and watched it by myself. Hey, howdy ho, howdy hey. So, I think I got this. So, give me one sec. I'm gonna try and bring up Shakespeare's. Let's see if I got this. No. There's the link. Okay. Shared with me. So, Scarlet Fury. Since I got you, or I assume I've got you. Who should I do first? Should I read mine or Shakespeare's? Which story do you think? Sorry, I was AFK for a second. The horses were being beautiful, and I had to get pictures. The good news is you know now definitively that someone out there thinks you're really cool. There's first. Okay, so I'm gonna read Shakespeare's story first. So these are based on the same prompts, but his is 798 words. Mine is gonna clock in around 358. So, let's see how this goes. I'm kind of sad he's not here for it. Oh well. So I haven't read this. This is completely new. I'm excited. The dust and wind make a desert music. The music of wind and dust. The dust and wind make a desert music. The music of wind and dust is a music which belongs to the desert and will never be repeated. The music of the Mojave coats everything, coats my arms, my face. It's in my mouth now. I spit. A man down the road, he spits too. Soon, we will shoot our guns at each other. I'm still standing on the porch of the saloon. The shade here is cool in the vengeful sun. I have a few moments to collect my thoughts before the shooting begins. I will pull myself together here. I'm dressed in a nightshirt. I am dressed in a pair of trousers. I'm dressed in dust and wind and the absence of a gun. Without it, I will be naked in the sunlight. A flash of fear and realization. I should not have angered that man. I'm not sure if the angering came before or after the ingestion, or why the man is angry. If I have angered him, I am sure I didn't mean it. If he is angry at me, I understand. A step, and I am in the sun. He is taller than I, and dressed in brown linen. He holds his gun out to me, and its silver makes me blink. The handle faces me, and I take it. The handle is heavy, and made of pearls. Rainbows peek through my fingers as I close my fist around it. My hands are slippery. They are made of clay. I don't have a gun, I think. There's one in your hand, he says. We turn our backs, and someone begins to count. To the beat, I take my steps. 7. Once, I lived with my family. As I think of this time, I can smell the smoke of the factories and the dust. My mother sinks through the wind. She has sung far to reach me here. She is gone now, and the rest are in far-off places. Should I survive to see tomorrow, I will write to them. 6. We moved west, but only I stayed. Now only I feel the cold of a desert winter, and I shiver to think of it. The sweat chills my skin, and I shiver in the breeze. Only I have stayed here, in the desert. If I see tomorrow, I will go join the rest. 5. Wandering is a potent drug, and I have wandered all my life. I left to find fortune, but my opportunities each dissolved. Some went to the more deserving. Others I traded. Drinks and promises, all behind me now. Always I blamed someone else. If I see tomorrow, I will reflect on this. 4. I arrived in this town a week ago, looking for work. I had no leads, no recommendations, but had drunk my way away my coin again and happened upon this place in the desert. I thought that they would not kick me out of this town for fear that I would die. I have preyed upon their kindness. If I see tomorrow, I will repent. 3. I met a man on the outskirts who taught me to survive. He gave me a rabbit trap and taught me to find the fruits of the Mojave. He showed me a cactus and told me that eating it would bring me to visions. He was not there in the morning. The cactus made the wind blow through me, and now I hear its music. If I see tomorrow, I will remember him. 2. Old ways are hard to forget. The next night, I could trap no rabbits, and there were no good things to eat in the desert. A man in town walked alone with his wife. The woman wore a blue dress, and he was in brown linen. I tried to ask for money, but the cactus held my tongue. Angered and confused, I drew my knife on the man. He gave me money, but I remembered my face. He knew where to find me, and it was in the bar. If I see tomorrow, I will give him what he is owed. 1. The count has finished, and I know what to do. I dropped the man's gun and turned to face him. I want to tell him that I am sorry, and that I will change my ways. I want to tell him that he is a better man than I, and that we should not shoot each other with his guns, but there is no time for that, and the music holds my words. The sound of a shot stops the music, and I drop to my knees. I do not know if I have died. If I see tomorrow, I will know. Damn. Okay. Wow, we went in very, very different directions. Okay. Shit. I mean, what do you think, Scarlet Fury? Shakespeare's isn't here for it, although he might prefer it that way, I don't know. Yeah, what'd you think? Very poetic. Very different kind of writer than me, and that's one of the things that's kind of fun about seeing somebody else tackle one of these prompts as well, is the fact that, yeah, I'd never write that story. It's great. I really, really avoid first person, and I don't tend to go in for, like, terribly poetic, so, like, that was really cool to see. Alright, let's see how mine compares. The first thing I gotta say is, again, it's, like, half this long, so, like, it's, I just don't have nearly the time for, detail, but so it goes. After a night of drink and gambling and making all kinds of devil's bargains, Jane McCullough wasn't surprised to find himself here, facing down an expert marksman at high noon in the center of town. All he knew was that Penny McFarlane was right pissed at him. The particulars of the night before were doused in a thick layer of whiskey, so it was hard for McCullough to ascertain what exactly had transpired to bring him to such a point. He'd ask, only it might do more to tarnish his good name. He'd also ask, except his tongue was a lizard. It hadn't always been a lizard, but sure as hell was now. You could feel it squirming and wriggling about inside his mouth, looking for any escape possible. Last time he trusted the local Hohokam medicine man, Jose Haywood, that old half-Irish coot. McCullough distinctly said he wanted something to give him some added luck, a real edge in a duel, not a transfiguration potion to turn his tongue into a goddamn reptile. Too late to concern himself with this unforeseen transformation, though. All McCullough could hope for was that Joe Danby was as much of a dandy at shooting as, good Lord in heaven, his hands had turned into cattails. How fucking weird was that? He was so preoccupied by this new development, he barely registered the words, "Draw!" McCullough jerked his pistol from the holster, aiming off the hip at that damned dandy Joe Danby, and pulled the trigger. There was a sound of gunfire. 2 shots. Maybe 3. A moment later, there was a thud, startling McCullough so badly he dropped his gun, partially because it had decided it would rather be an eel anyway. He followed the sound of the thud to see, quite to his relief, Joe Danby lying face down, eating dirt and bleeding out. Jason McCullough checked his chest with his cattail fingers, but he couldn't find a scratch on him. With minimal effort, he wriggled his eel back into its holster and looked up, just in time to see his girl, Bad Penny McFarlane, and her rifle vanish back into her second-floor room. How about Bad Penny McFarlane and her rifle vanish back through her second-floor window? So, Scarlet Fury, Here's the moment of truth. Who wrote the better story? I mean, obviously, Fellowship is better. It's not even a fucking debate. Get out of here. Definitely just started a flame war. Alright. I'm ready. I mean, true. I mean, Shakespeare's wrote a meditation on the end of a man's life, set to the timer of a countdown of a duel. I wrote, Shakiest Gun in the West meets... Oh, I don't even know. I definitely feel like I leaned more on... He leaned into the spiritual side of, like, a drug trip. And I definitely leaned into the, like, oh shit, my gun's a fucking eel. Oh no. So, like... Also think it's interesting that I went through and named everybody. Joe Danby, which is also a reference to... So, McFarlane, Bad Penny McFarlane is a reference to Shakiest Gun in the West and Red Dead Redemption. Jason McCulloch, that's a reference to... James McCulloch. Oops. It's also... that's a reference to the film... I wonder what they would have done if they had your word count, though. I mean, that was actually something I was going to say. He's not here, but the back and forth we had was... he said, brief warning, it came out pretty dark. I said, cool, I'll save it for after I do my own version. Mind if I read yours on stream? He says, not a bit. So, or he said, so I have no idea how you did this so fast, but I did your cowboy prompt. Then, brief warning, it came out pretty dark. I finally responded, I also have no idea how to do these so fast. And he goes, yeah, it took me most of your stream to finish that one. The word limit is 800, right? And I went, well, mine actually averaged 323. He said, oh shit, that makes a little more sense. Yeah, I don't know why I had 800 in my head, which I explained. 800 is like the traditional flash fiction limit. He said, honestly, it just makes it even more amazed that you fit stories into such small spaces, which I took as quite a compliment. He also said, I have a hard time. Yeah, he said, I have a hard time just avoiding everything I write spiraling into that 10,000 word no man's land that I seem drawn to for whatever reason. So, I took that as quite the compliment. Because, yeah, I don't know what he would have come up with if he was trying to fit it into the same amount of time that I did. So, this was kind of an interesting experiment. I'd love to see other people also kind of tackle some of these prompts. That's it, obviously. It was nice that I had the opportunity to tell mine, or to do mine before experiencing his, but yeah, that was great. Very different. Just like, very different experience, so. what are we feeling next? Excuse me. I'm curious about these synthetic ones. Like, I talked about this a bit before. I feel like it's really easy to do I look at this like the human private detective is hired to solve the murder of a synthetic humanoid, and it's like, okay, so there's like a conflict kind of built in. It's an implied conflict, which is that there is something, that there is drama worth exploring in the this the word just slipped out of my brain. Slipped out and cracked on the side. Anyways, splashed on the side. Anyways, in this scenario, there's drama inherent in this scenario. But honestly, I look at it, I'm like, okay, so it's just the Roger Rabbit iRobot thing of like, you know, human private detective is hired to solve the murder of a synthetic humanoid, which is a problem because they're racist against synthetic humanoids or against Toons or against the Irish, you know, whatever. So it's like, off the top of my head, I feel like I want to do something different, you know. I mean, even just flip it on its head of like, you know, nobody wants to take these cases because people are racist towards synthetics, except for this guy. But I still feel like I've seen that kind of story as well. Maybe, but like that's just kind of the thought process I am, where it's like it's not a bad prompt. It's a little weird to have three prompts that are so similar, you know, synthetic child, synthetic humanoid, synthetics living in an uneasy peace. It almost kind of begs to be part of the same world building, and I don't know if that. All the other times I've done stuff, it's kind of been up in the air as to whether or not, like Batarel and the angel and the demon who keep reappearing over multiple stories, it just kind of hits me in the moment. I'm like, oh, this would fit with them. Like even yesterday, when I set out to do the demon stoner story, I didn't actually picture that demon reappearing. I just pictured, you know, first I was just the idea of an upper level, you know, superior showing up and then going, oh, it should be that guy. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. But, yeah. So, I'm kind of feeling this one, the human private detective, just because I just talked about it a lot. And I feel like if I do instead of looking at them all as a block, doing one at a time, instead of doing them one at a time, instead of looking them at all as a block, doing them one at a time and kind of separating and breaking it apart, looking at each prompt as kind of its own separate thing. So let's see what happens. We'll explore this idea of a human private detective who wants the case. Something from the old stories. Where is it? Journeyman writings. No. Chasing echoes, not don't answer that, not fear the dark, non-public. Phone booths, DeLoreans, and non-linear progression. Self-arrest, supernatural springs, synthetic lies, 10 feet tall and bulletproof. Oh no, where is it? Is it not here? Fuck. I don't remember what it was called. Maybe here. Nope. Oh my god, guys, I have lost a story that Dune Harper and I collaborated on back in high school. And I don't know where it is. Shit. But it was like cyberpunk. Oh, I think I found it. Drake. Weird. March 10th, 2010. Fuck.
Sorry, the structure on this one's just not quite clicking. sailing in the plane. Hey there, hey there, hey there, and we're back. Wow, today's stream went really long. Oh, we did read an extra story. Oh well. So, here's what I got. Bizarre Reptar gave the prompt: a human private detective is hired to solve the murder of a synthetic humanoid. Okay. Let's just jump into it. It turned out ones and zeros were perfectly capable of replicating grief, VR thought as she stepped out into the rain of the hologram-saturated city. She pulled her coat tight around her body, although her synth skin did more to protect her from the elements than the most decadent of fur coats. Even still, had her body been constructed from pure nano-bonded durasteel weave, strong enough to resist molten temperatures, it would have done nothing to defend her from the gnawing emptiness of David being taken away from her. "Excuse me," a gruff voice said from the shadows, stepping into view some 10 feet away. They had both hands up. Skin. That was enough to clock a purebred human in this day and age. "Not many of your kind left," she said, calculating escape routes all the while. He glanced at his calloused hands and sighed. "I'm old-fashioned. Name's Drake. I'm a private detective. I heard what happened to David. Came looking for you." In spite of herself, the servos in VR's hands clenched. "The family sent you? You come to finish me off?" Drake held his arms wide. She could see his face now. Old, weathered, sad. "No." "You just want to help me?" she asked, holding back a barking, biting laugh. Out of the goodness of your heart?" He nodded at her. "Bullshit. I've autopsied your kind's hearts, and there's no kindness in there. Just blood." "Same conclusion I came to," he said, rain pouring down his leathered coat. "Once upon a time, someone hurt me. Took someone from me. No one came to help. His bearded face was wild with prophetic defiance. I promised I would stop that from happening to anyone else." His shoulders sank. Then they moved on from taking people from people like me to people like you. Wow, there's a sentence. They moved on from taking folk from people like me to people like you. People. VR wasn't sure if she'd ever been called people before. A savage grin spread across her face. She held out her hand and took his. "All right, Detective Drake. You're hired." So, what did you think? That is... As the second prompt of the day, so technically we are done. So, I hope you liked that one. That one was a bit interesting world. I like it. Yeah, I wanted to, I mean, again, kind of following the letter of the prompt. The prompt itself was just a human detective is hired to solve the murder. Not that they did solve the murder, so I wanted to try and, I wanted to focus on the conflict of getting hired, and then I wanted to kind of explore... I like the idea of making the POV character this synthetic girl, and I did like... I don't know if this would hold up if I tried to expand this. I don't know the idea of the PI coming to VR would work in the long run. I don't know what the story is there for, but for the sake of this one-page story, I think it added an interesting level of conflict. That is different, that you don't necessarily see in most of these kinds of stories. Again, it's usually the, like, Logan or Joel in The Last of Us, or, that kind of grizzled, like, I'm retired. Oh no. Good evening. Is it Itanshi? Oh my, daily flash fiction. Yeah, that's what we do. Itanshi. Gotcha. Itanshi. Unfortunately, I feel bad saying this. We were just kind of wrapping up. We finished writing 2 stories today, 2 little over a page, but I just call them 1-page stories. But hey, thanks for popping by. Yeah. No, I stream a couple of days a week, and I take writing prompts from my friends and turn them into these little 1-page stories. See, that's kind of a challenge. But, yeah, today went fairly well. We did a Western, and we did Cyberpunk, which I didn't, and I wrote an entire Cyberpunk story without talking about Cyberpunk 2077. So, I feel like there's a challenge accomplished. I don't know if anyone else has been keeping track of Cyberpunk 2077, but that's been a fun mess to just kind of be like, I mean, it's not T. It was T earlier, but just kind of going, oh man. Say, feel free to poke me on Discord. I have a link to my Twitch About page. Alright, cool. Sounds like a plan. Alright, well, in that case, but it's almost been another rain commute pretty well here. Oh, cool. I'm fairly new, and I've kind of just kept to myself. Haven't really, I'm not good at reaching out. We're writers. We're not terribly social creatures, normally. But this is probably one of the longest streams I've done. Today was a bit challenging, so I am going to wrap this up. Say that's all I have to say. That's all I have to write. Remember, no heroes in 2020. Memento Mori, seize the day, all that good stuff. So, I will see you guys tomorrow around the same time. 2:30, 3 o'clock. Somewhere in there. Anyways. Bye. No, hit the button. Oh, there it goes. We'll get it one day.